gets it out quickly. They've got him down at the 40 after he ripped off 15 yards. Starting this drive like that is exactly what they'd hoped for. Now 1st and 10 from the 40. Not a whole lot of room there. 3 yards maybe. 2nd and 7. Got a little work done on 1st down. Now back to the line. He wants to throw here on 2nd down. Trying to make magic on the scramble. He's run out of bounds, but not before. Turning in a big pickup and moving the sticks for a 1st down. The Broncos come to the line with a fresh set of downs. They bring him down, and he's going to lose a yard on that one.
And when you play defensive end, it's all about getting off the football. You can tell, gets off the football really fast, gets in the backfield, gets the running back before he knows what hit him. What a play by the defensive end.
Well, the QB looked like he knew where he wanted to go with that football, but give the defense credit, they were able to swat that one away.
They line up with some serious work to do if they want to convert this one. Throws toward the end zone. And swatted down by the defense to stop the scoring opportunity. This offense wants to get out of the gate fast on their first drive of the game, plus territory. They'll go for it on 4th down. Going back to the well, another deep ball. Can't hook up on the long throw, and 4th down goes by the boards for this offense. The Falcons offense headed onto the field. Our first look at them. First down for this offense. Leaves it with the running back. Finds that crease, and he's got 4 out to the 29.
Nice run there on 1st down. You know, this is a running back that gets better as the game goes on. So they're going to want to make sure they keep feeding him the football, let him get lathered up.
Quarterback now breaking the field. On the run, fires downfield.
And there's an example of what happens when the quarterback doesn't have a chance to set his feet. The pressure just forced him to have to work off schedule a little bit. And I think because of that, wasn't able to be as accurate as he wanted to be.
He's got it. They'll get him on the ground at the 46, and it'll be a 1st down. Here's this offense with a fresh set of downs. To the air on 1st down. He's looking deep. And the DB right with him to knock it away. 2nd down after that incompletion. Quarterback checking the play. He's back to throw on 2nd down. He'll take another shot here. And he pulls it in inside the 15-yard line. The offense lining up for a 1st down play. The give to the back. Smashes through. Really nice, patient job to find some running room by this junior.
All right, well, look, I know the defense was feeling real good about their run D coming into this one and how they've been playing up to this point, but finally, David, the offense breaks through and they finally generate something positive on that run.
And I can't tell. When you're going to throw the ball consistently, and I know it, I'm going to pin my ears back, and I'm going to get to the quarterback. It makes life really easy on the defensive line. But when you can have balance, now the defense doesn't know what's coming. They need more of this.
Oh, picked off. Oh, what a move. And he's wrapped up. Offense set on first down. He wants to throw. Get it out on the screen. He makes the stop, but a nice pickup there on first down. Leaves them in second and manageable. Give to the running back. Slam to the ground, but not before he gets to first down.
Well, I know this is an offensive line that has a ton of pride. They want to come out each and every game and really impose their will on the D-line. They got just enough push there on that run play to pick up the first.
They make the stop right there. Good pickup, but still short of the first down. Second down here, and maybe they've got time to get one more snap off before the 2-minute warning. And they wrap him up, but not before he gets enough on the catch for the first down. It's the 2-minute warning, and we'll see if the offense can tack a little something extra on their lead before the break. Got it behind the line. It's Gray.
This quarterback right now is in a groove, and he's doing a nice job in pre-snap. He's reading the coverage, and he's getting an idea of where he wants to go with the football. That's why the ball's coming out of his hands.
He's going to let one fly down the middle. And the incomplete pass taking a shot on second down, and they'll be left with a third down. And here comes play number 6 of the drive. On third and short, they'll try to throw for it. And that one's incomplete. They weren't just trying to move the chains. They were trying to move the scoreboard. Instead, it's fourth down. This offense gets into plus territory. They're going to go for it regardless of their field goal kicker's range. And he'll be taken down, but he does have enough for the first down. And the Broncos come to the line with a new set of downs. Looking to go up top on first down. That one came in hot, and it's incomplete. After the misfire, now on second down. He's looking to throw. Oh, he's going to try to hit him over the top. And they can't hook up. Going for the big play on second down. Now it's third down. They line up, and it is a long way to the sticks from here. Caught in the backfield. It's Gray. He couldn't find anywhere to go, and now it's fourth down.
They're trying to throw the screen out to the receiver. The defense, though, having none of that. They are just too physical. They're too fast. They force a negative play.
Fires deep toward the end zone. Can't complete the... Looking for a productive play on first down. They'll go to the ground. Good, solid pickup on that one. They've got it out to the 40, and it's first down. Here's this offense with a fresh set of downs. They're getting this guy lathered up. Turns it on in midfield. And he's knocked down, but there's also a flag that's been dropped. Let's check on the call. That penalty moves the ball back 10 yards. We'll replay the down. On first down, here comes this offense. They'll ride the running back and leave it with him. And he finds some solid space, makes a nice game before the defense is able to stop it. And on second down for this offense. Hands it off. Discards a man. Makes the stop at the 49. Give him 5 yards on the play and a first down. Here's this offense with a fresh set of downs. Trying to find his man on first down. Quickly complete. He is stopped behind the line of scrimmage. They'll lose yards on that one. This offense has a second down play. He's looking to throw. Snagged in the middle. It's Gray. They make the tackle at the 36, but they're in plus territory now with the 15-yard pickup. They've got it at the 36 on first and 10. Across the 25, he's got room. They'll finally get him stopped at the 1-yard line. What a run there. This defense might be reeling after those last two and now facing first and goal. They'll try to get it in with the run. And he... First down here for the offense. Power football with the run. Just sort of a relentless run, getting everything that was available to him, and they'll mark him down at the 40. Good spot after that 7-yard pickup on first down. It's 2nd and 3. Got his man out of the backfield. He's close to the first down, but they're going to mark him just a little short. Here we go. 3rd down and 1. Let's see what you're made of. Fast motion from the offense. They'll keep it on the ground to keep this clock moving. Just nowhere to go against this defense to find that single yard he needed on 3rd down. They really have no choice here. This is a no-brainer. You go for it here on this 4th down. And they'll pick up the first down and mark it at the 47. Here's this offense with a fresh set of downs. He's looking to throw it. Can't find his man as he took a shot trying to deliver that football, and it'll be 2nd down. Couldn't make the connection last time. Let's see if they throw it again. Looking for a huge play. And this is dropped. Incomplete pass. He had a huge gain in his fingers, and he couldn't hold on. What a big play this one could be. Tight game, getting late, going downfield for the big play. And they can't hook up on the big play, and that brings up a 4th down. Formation trying to confuse the secondary. On 4th down, they'll pass for it. Can't find his man. It'll be a first down for the offense. He wants to start this drive with a pass. And that'll be incomplete. Man, that would have been a big hitter on first down, but 2nd down's coming up. The Broncos hope to be able to run out the clock in this final minute. On 2nd down, he'll let it fly. Trying to escape and get it himself. And that defense is there to guide him out of bounds after a short gain. Let's see what call they have on 3rd and long from the 28. On the move, he fires. And he's running in the open. And he was loose and out the gate and doesn't go down until he gets to the 48-yard line. And the Broncos will snap it on 1st and 10. Looking to move it through the air. Trying to burn this defensive back. He makes a grab. Touchdown. All business today for this ball club. They come out and they get the win.
And that's all that matters. It's not always pretty. You don't always do everything you want to do or check all the boxes. But at the end of the game, Jesse, you want that W.
No doubt about it. They made the plays they needed to make in order to get this win. I thought the quarterback showed tremendous poise, good leadership throughout the course of the game. Defense made stops when they had to make them. So, right, there were some things that were going to need to clean up moving forward, but ultimately they were the better team today.
That's going to do it for us. For Jesse Palmer, David Pollack, our entire broadcast team, I'm Reese Davis. This has been another presentation of EA Sports College Football.